Hello and welcome. So glad you dropped by today. My name is Lynda Phippen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. I have a brand new stamp set to share with you, and I've made some cards that I hope you will enjoy. And I just think it's time to get started. So let's go. Nature's Prints is the stamp set that we're going to be working with. Brand new out of the new catalog, and it really is a lot of fun and lots of neat things that you can do with it. The first card that we're going to do is Hello There, and it's with Blackberry Bliss. So let me show you how we're going to put this together. The 3D embossing folder is lots of ferns, and it really shows up nicely. I did it in gold, so that gives you a nice idea of what it looks like. And the first thing that we want to do, though, is to get some blending in. So I've taken the Blackberry Bliss, and I just want to go over the ferns so that you can just really see how nicely they show up. And you can see I just want the ends of the ferns to be a little darker. And I don't want to put too much on because I want to just see some of the white. So I did that on the fern. You can see, there we go, a little bit of that. And then I've just taken the white piece that's going to be on the outside of the card and just put a little color around it, just softly, but again enough that you can see it. And then I've done the same for the inside of the card. And you want to make sure that you have a scrap of paper so that you can not get it all over your table. And then, before I close that up, before I did that, I just took some of the fern stamp, and this is going to go on the inside of the card. So if you want it dark, of course, you do the first right from the stamp pad, and if you want to have it light again, you just do a second stamp. You just have to watch that you don't what? I'll think of it in a minute. And then I just took like a second stamp and went on the inside of the fern. And you know how you just, I did it again. Pushing too hard on my stamp. There we go. All gone. Okay, so that's the inside of the envelope, or inside of the card. And you know, you could do that on your envelope as well. That would look very nice. Okay, so that's all of the stamping that we need to do for this card. So the first thing I did was, I better get this right, glue these two pieces together, or use my Stampin' seal. before I forget, I put on some blackberry bliss. So I just, on each corner, just a little bit. So you have to make sure you get it in the right angle. So I'm not quite sure how much I used, but it was maybe 8 inches, less than a foot. And we'll just give that a little. Okay, little secret that I learned. If you want to keep a pair of scissors that are just for ribbons, if you want to identify them with a little piece of ribbon and then put them back in the package so that they stay sharp just for, you know, there's nothing worse than having a dull pair of scissors when you're trying to cut. Okay, so let me just, I'll cut it ahead of time because then I won't have to fight with it. But do you see how nice that cuts? Very nice. So I'm going to put it back in this little package, and I don't use it for anything else but my ribbon, and it always is there when I need it. Just a little tip I've learned along the way. Okay, we've got that on there. Okay, then we're just going to put it on, and I'll put a little extra tape on the ribbon just so that it stays. Okay, so that is the first part of our card, and well, we've got this Stampin' seal out. We'll just put this on the inside, and that is done. Okay, so the oh, here it is. Okay, so there is a die that will cut this lovely wreath out, and it you kind of have to play with it a little bit to see what you like and how you want it. But what I also did was, so I have some, I put some glue on this. Okay, so I think I want it to go this way. And I'll just put this on for a second. I have the sentiment already, and it just says hello there, which is kind of neat. And so all I've done is cut pieces from a second wreath with the white and add those pieces randomly just to give it a little brightness. And some of these pieces that I did was I just used my brush and just lightly went over it if you don't want it quite so bright. And I will take another pair of scissors and just cut off this. And just go around, and you can put as much or as little as you like. That's the nice thing about wreaths, is that really there are no right and wrong ways of doing it, and just kind of stick them randomly. Don't you love it when you get glue on? Or, you know, you could easily just leave it. It really doesn't need to have anything more on it. But I did put just a little bit of white on it. Then the sentiment goes on the inside, and that is how quick and easy this card is. And this Blackberry Bliss is just lovely. I always like this color. And it's so fun when the glue sticks to everything but your project. And then I just used the pearls, which are right here, and just added. I put 2 larger ones on the bottom, and put one up here, one down here, and then just one more that I can put. Actually, how about we have 3 down here? And that is card number 1. Our second card is using Night of Navy and Gray Granite, and the new color called Starry Sky, which is picked up in the DSP. And so the first thing I did was cut the DSP in a square 4x4, and the other side is what we're going to contrast it with. So let's just get this on, and there it is. Okay, so to me, I always find it's better if you are able to put your outside pieces on, and then it's much easier to center your middle piece in the middle. That would be a good place for it. Okay, so you put your piece on the top and your second piece on the bottom. And then, I mean, that would look equally as nice, but I wanted to pick up the navy and the Night of Navy and the Starry Sky. And there's, I don't know, there's just something lovely about navy. I love navy. And there's lots of white nature leaves in this as well. So, okay. I'm going to, okay, so better not put that on upside down. You've been on my mind, so I just want to see where I need to put my lovely leaves. And before I do that, what I did was I took a sponge dauber and just a little bit of ink. This is white. I've re-inked it, so it looks a little messy, but again, just to pick up some of the white in it, and it makes it a little brighter. Okay, so that one is ready to go. I did that on the sentiment as well, again, just to give it a little dimension. We'll put some on the flower. And on this piece as well. So these are all the stamps that come in this set. Okay, so we've got all of that done. So I'm still going to put the sentiment on first, so that I leave room, and that the these big greenery will fit on. Okay, so there we go. Okay, now the hope is that everything else fits. So sometimes you have to mix your dimensions, and you know, the big ones aren't big enough. You can cut them in half, but you know, it's your choice. Okay, so we'll put this guy right here. Then I have one flower. And that can go kind of overlapping a little bit. And then this one here we're just going to glue on. But I still want it to kind of go up over there. And you can either you can do some sponging on these, or you can just leave the white. And I kind of like the white because it picks up the white in the DSP. So again, working with odd numbers, 3 flowers, 3 greeneries that are white. Oh my. Okay. Oh, look at that. Sticks. Okay, I'm going to close this. I want to put my inside in with the gray granite, and again I just stamped along the top and the bottom. You can do that any way you want. You can just put one greenery, lots of greenery along each side. And the dimensions for all of these cards will be in the description below. And to finish it off, I used some rhinestones, basic rhinestones, to give it a little bling. So we have 1, 2, 3. Oops, lost that one. 3, 4, and 5. And that is card number 2. And this is our 3rd card for this evening. And I know it's not Valentine's Day, but I just wanted to give this a try. So let's just see how it turns out and if it's something that you would like to do. Now, I have in the past taken greenery and made a wreath. And this time I'm taking the wreath and I'm going to cut it up and put it around the heart. So let me just give you a few little pointers if you like this idea. I did find the center of my stripes because I think my first card is just off a little bit. And I don't know, I just kind of like this. This is the DSP that comes in the suite. This is the other side, which is not what I wanted. It's lovely the way it is. This one has some flowers on it and some stripes, but I didn't want the stripes and the stripes, so I have stripes and flowers. So let's get these 2 pieces together and layer them. Okay, so the first one I want to put on is the flowers. Okay, and then the second layer we'll put on. And I'm keeping my post-it note on because I'll show you how I'm keeping my heart in keeping my heart. How I'm going to make these pieces of greenery that are bluery. Okay, so I just cut a random heart, and I used the stamps, or not the stamps, but the punches, the 2-layer punches. One has a lovely, a lovely scallop, and the other one is just a heart. But that's how they matched very well. Now, I took the stripes and went the opposite way, and I don't know, no reason, just something a little different. Okay, so, but we're not going to use that right away. We're going to make the heart. So I have 2 pieces here, and I just cut them up. I know that's an awful thing to do. Okay, so now I have 2 of everything, and then I just put them in a way that goes all the way around the heart, but you don't want, like, keeping in mind that the heart that you're going to be that's going to be showing is the bigger piece, so you want to have enough that goes around it, but not too much. I don't know. It's whatever you want. But the idea is to kind of get the shape of the heart. And of course you realize that this means more glue on your fingers. Okay, and if you need the pieces to be a little bit smaller to fill in, it's quite all right to cut them even more. Okay, I'm going to put this one up here because I want a point. Let's see, how are we going to get a point? We're going to take this piece to be the point. And let's see, we got, and actually, you know, you don't have to cut them, you can tear it, because no one is going to be able to figure out if you cut them. And if you have to overlap, again, not a big deal. And the glue is not drying quite as quickly as I wanted. And then we just need a bit of a, let's see, little pieces on each side of our heart. And another piece on this side. Let's see. Does it look like a heart? Looks pretty good. I think I'm just going to stick a little piece on this little gap here. Okay, then I put some dimensions on my heart. And the sentiment that I used for this card doesn't come with the stamp set, but it's the Through It Together stamp set. And it says, "You are loved today and always." It's here somewhere. Anyway, maybe you can see it. But it is there, believe me. Okay, so now we're going to take our heart, stick it on with some greenery behind it. Hopefully we don't lose any of the pieces. See, now isn't that a little different? And I have it centered nicely. That's what that was for. So I always love it when a good plan comes together. Then I put a yellow flower because again I wanted something just, you know, a little different. Put it in a point so that it can go there. Okay, and then because I used gold, I should have some pieces of gold. Glad I kept this card till last. Okay, so a little gold there, and a little piece of gold on the other side. Let's put our sentiment on before we put anything else on. You know, I could take these off ahead of time, but then you can imagine things that stick to it might even be worse. It's hard to say. Okay, so we have our sentiment on there, and I did have two gold ones, but actually why don't we put some of the blue ones on this time. Okay, then when I found some of our rhinestones. These are the holiday rhinestones, but I like the gold in it. So let's just put, I want one in the middle. Not sure where that went. And then we'll put, oh my goodness. I'm just going to use my hands. Hands and nails. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more. Put it right there. And that is our third card. Let me know what you think, and thank you very much for dropping by, and for your kind comments and your subscriptions, and I will see you again next week. So these are our cards that we did tonight, and I really hope that you enjoyed them and come away with some ideas of your own. So I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you again next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.